Hello, future engineers and scientists. Welcome to an exciting journey through the world of chemistry, brought to you by Synapse. Today, we are diving into a fundamental concept in Class 11 Chemistry, chemical bonding and molecular structure. Our specific focus will be on the fascinating ionic bond. We'll start with the basics, then gradually build up to more complex theories and competitive insights. Get ready to unlock the secrets of how atoms stick together. Ready to discover what makes table salt, a common household item, so incredibly strong? Let's explore the basic building blocks of ionic bonds. So, what exactly is an ionic bond? Imagine two atoms, one eager to give away an electron, and the other eager to snatch one up. An ionic bond is formed when there's a complete transfer of one or more valence electrons from one atom to another. This electron transfer creates charged particles, positively charged ions called cations, and negatively charged ions called anions. The powerful attraction between these oppositely charged ions is what we call an ionic bond, also known as an electrovalent bond. It's like a magnetic attraction holding them tightly together. How do these bonds actually form? Typically, ionic bonds occur between a metal, which readily loses electrons, and a nonmetal, which readily gains them. The metal loses electrons to achieve a stable electron configuration, becoming a cation. The nonmetal gains those electrons to achieve its own stable configuration, becoming an anion. Take sodium chloride, or common table salt, as a prime example. Sodium, a metal, loses one electron to become Na, while chlorine, a nonmetal, gains that electron to become Cl. These oppositely charged ions then attract strongly, forming the ionic compound NaCl. This strong attraction is why ionic compounds have certain distinct properties. Now, let's test your understanding of these fundamental concepts. Take a moment to read through these three practice questions. Think about the definitions and characteristics we just discussed. Pause the video if you need more time, and try to answer them before moving on. Good luck! Great job with the basics. Now, let's deepen our understanding of ionic bonds by exploring the underlying rules and energetic considerations. Atoms strive for stability, and the octet rule helps explain this drive. It states that atoms tend to gain, lose, or share electrons to achieve a full outer shell, typically with 8 electrons, mirroring the stable configuration of noble gases. Ionic bond formation is a direct pathway to satisfy this rule. For instance, sodium loses one electron to complete its octet, becoming Na, while chlorine gains that electron to complete its own octet, forming Cl. The number of electrons an atom loses or gains to form an ionic bond is called its electrovalency, which corresponds directly to the charge on the resulting ion. The formation of an ionic bond is driven by energy changes. The Born-Haber cycle helps us understand the overall energy involved. It's a hypothetical pathway that breaks down the formation of an ionic compound into several steps. First, energy is absorbed to convert the metal into gaseous ions, ionization enthalpy, and to break nonmetal molecules into atoms, dissociation enthalpy. Then, energy is released when the nonmetal atoms gain electrons, electron gain enthalpy. Finally, a significant amount of energy, called lattice enthalpy, is released when these gaseous ions combine to form a stable solid crystal. A highly negative lattice enthalpy is a key factor in the stability of ionic compounds. So, what conditions favor the formation of a strong ionic bond? Three main factors are crucial. First, the metal atom should have a low ionization enthalpy, meaning it easily loses electrons. Second, the nonmetal atom should have a high negative electron gain enthalpy, indicating a strong tendency to accept electrons. And third, the resulting ions must form a stable crystal lattice with a high lattice enthalpy. This is favored by ions with high charges and small ionic radii, allowing for stronger electrostatic attraction. When these conditions align, a robust ionic bond is likely to form. Alright, it's time to put your knowledge to the test with some medium-level questions. These questions require a slightly deeper understanding of the concepts we've just covered, including electrovalency, the Born-Haber cycle, and factors influencing bond formation. Read each question carefully and consider the explanations we've gone through. Take your time to think them through. You can pause the video here to work on them. Excellent work so far. Now, let's delve into the more intricate details of ionic bonding, including quantitative analysis and subtle deviations from ideal behavior. The Born-Haber cycle is not just a concept, it's a powerful tool based on Hess's law, allowing us to quantitatively determine the lattice enthalpy of an ionic compound. Since lattice enthalpy cannot be measured directly, this cycle correlates the standard enthalpy of formation with other experimentally measurable thermodynamic quantities, sublimation enthalpy of the metal, ionization enthalpy of the metal, dissociation enthalpy of the nonmetal, and electron gain enthalpy of the nonmetal. By summing the enthalpy changes of these individual steps, we can calculate the lattice enthalpy, providing critical insight into the compound's stability. Remember, a more negative lattice enthalpy indicates a more stable ionic compound. The magnitude of lattice enthalpy is primarily governed by two factors, as described by Coulomb's law. First, the charges on the ions. Lattice enthalpy is directly proportional to the product of the charges. Higher charges mean stronger electrostatic attraction and thus a greater lattice enthalpy. For example, AMGO, with its +2 and -2 ions, has a significantly higher lattice enthalpy than NaCl, with +1 and -1 ions. Second, the ionic radii. Lattice enthalpy is inversely proportional to the sum of the ionic radii. Smaller ions can get closer to each other, resulting in stronger attraction and a higher lattice enthalpy. For instance, LiF has a higher lattice enthalpy than CSI due to smaller ionic sizes. While we often describe bonds as purely ionic or purely covalent, in reality, most bonds exist on a spectrum. Fudgens' rules help us understand the degree of covalent character in an otherwise ionic compound, a phenomenon called polarization. This happens when the cation distorts the electron cloud of the anion. A small cation with a high charge density has strong polarizing power, and a large, easily deformable anion is highly polarizable. The greater the polarizing power of the cation and the polarizability of the anion, the more the electron cloud is distorted, leading to increased electron sharing and thus more covalent character. Also, cations with a pseudo-noble gas configuration, like Cu, are more polarizing than noble gas configuration ions of similar size, enhancing covalent character. You've tackled some complex ideas. Now it's time to apply your analytical skills to these hard-level practice questions. These will challenge your understanding of the Born-Haber cycle calculations, factors affecting lattice enthalpy, and the nuances of Fudgens' rules. Read each question carefully, apply the principles we've discussed, and try to explain your reasoning. Don't hesitate to pause and review the concepts if needed. Give it your best shot. Congratulations on making it this far. We are now entering the hardest level, where we'll explore the cutting edge of ionic bond theory, competitive depth, and real-world engineering insights. Beyond the basic understanding, theoretical models offer quantitative insights into ionic solids. The ideal ionic model, epitomized by the Born-Lande equation, calculates lattice energy based on purely electrostatic interactions, treating ions as perfect, non-polarizable spheres. It incorporates the Madelung constant, which accounts for the crystal's specific geometry. However, for compounds where the precise crystal structure isn't known, the empirical Kapuscinski equation provides a useful approximation for lattice energy, requiring only the number of ions in the formula unit, their charges, and their ionic radii. These models are foundational but have limitations when covalent character becomes significant, highlighting the complexity of real-world chemical bonds. Real ionic crystals are rarely perfect. They contain defects that profoundly influence their properties. Schottky defects involve a missing cation and anion pair, maintaining charge neutrality while decreasing crystal density, common in compounds with similarly sized ions like NaCl. Frenkel defects occur when an ion, typically a smaller cation, leaves its lattice site to occupy an interstitial position, leaving a vacancy behind. This doesn't change the overall density significantly and is common when there's a large size difference between cation and anion, like AgCl. These defects are not just imperfections, they are crucial for phenomena like solid-state ionic conductivity, where mobile ions facilitate charge transport, a cornerstone of advanced battery technologies and fuel cells. The solubility of an ionic compound in a solvent like water is a delicate balance of energies. It depends on whether the energy released during hydration, called hydration enthalpy, is sufficient to overcome the energy required to break apart the crystal lattice, known as lattice enthalpy. Hydration enthalpy is the energy released when gaseous ions are surrounded and stabilized by solvent molecules. Smaller, highly charged ions generally have a higher hydration enthalpy because they attract solvent molecules more strongly. Water, with its high dielectric constant, plays a critical role by effectively reducing the electrostatic attraction between separated ions, making it an excellent solvent for many ionic compounds. Understanding this energetic interplay is key to predicting solubility. Ionic bonding is not just a theoretical concept. It underpins vast areas of science and technology. In materials science, ionic compounds form the backbone of ceramics, prized for their strength, hardness, and thermal stability in extreme environments. They are indispensable in energy storage, with solid-state ionic conductors being vital for the next generation of high-performance batteries and fuel cells. In biology, ionic interactions are fundamental to life itself, driving nerve impulses, enabling enzyme function, and maintaining the structural integrity of biomolecules. Industrially, countless ionic compounds are synthesized and utilized daily, from basic salts and alkalis to complex catalysts, demonstrating the pervasive and profound impact of this fundamental chemical bond on our world. You've delved deep into the advanced aspects of ionic bonding. Now, it's time to test your comprehensive understanding with these challenging questions. Questions 1 through 5 will assess your grasp of theoretical models, crystal defects, and solubility principles. These problems require not just recall, but also critical thinking and the ability to apply complex concepts. Take your time, analyze each question thoroughly, and formulate well-reasoned answers. Pause the video here to work through them carefully. Good luck! Let's continue to challenge your expertise with the next set of questions, 6 through 10. These questions will push your analytical abilities even further, requiring you to connect various concepts from thermodynamics, polarization, and real-world applications of ionic compounds. Think about the nuances of the Born exponent, the practical implications of defects in materials, and how different energy terms contribute to overall stability. These are designed to prepare you for competitive exams like GMAT. Take your time, be thorough, and strive for precision in your answers. You've just completed an in-depth exploration of the ionic bond, from its basic definition to its advanced theoretical models and real-world applications. We hope this journey has been insightful and has strengthened your foundation in chemical bonding. For more such comprehensive educational content, practice questions, and expert guidance tailored for GMAT, visit us at synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for continuous learning and updates. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep achieving your academic goals with Synapse.